in this game and the previous one have been good enough.
Alright, well, we'll find out. It looks like we are live, so the commentators will take you from here on in. It's Secret versus CDEC for the first series. This is the final game to decide who will win.
Okay, guys, indeed, Game 3 between CDEC and Secret, and what a series it has been so far. And what are you seeing, Andy, already? What's going on?
I let die with the smoke break. That was actually so nice.
Feel they can find. And we were talking about this in the draft. Q on the Disruptor. Is that the answer to what Secret were pulling out in Game 2 with the Tide and the Enigma?
It's really good if you can keep out the Tide. Like, most of the time, the way that Secret want to take team fights, they want to be very compact. They want to fight around Black Hole and Ravage. Obviously, they have the Spectre Haunt to follow that up. Disruptor is one of the few heroes in the game who can just stop a Tide from casting while he's taking damage, because Static Storm is an area of effect debuff that's basically applied to you every second, or like however many seconds it lasts, which means that if he gets caught inside of the kinetic field in a Static Storm, he can be killed before he ults, which is a really nice thing to have. It also helps secure the laning phase, gives him pretty good roam actually. Disruptor and Lena together, like if the Disruptor roams for mid, then you can very easily get a kill with that as well. Thunderstrike, Glimpse, Cage, probably a dead hero. Same thing could be said with the Night Stalker and the Disruptor roaming around together. And plus, the vision that you gain with Night Stalker and the Disruptor during nighttime has great synergy, because Night Stalker has ridiculous vision once he gets X.
And of course, Envy bringing out the Spectre this match. We were talking about potential position ones heroes for the guy this game, and Spectre's not necessarily one that we came up with. Why do you feel Secrets felt that this is a game for a Spectre?
Well, I think Winter said it. They're just doing everything based around the team fight potential. I was thinking more along the lines they might go like a Sven or a Lycan just to give them even more push to allow themselves to just go high ground sooner. But if you're winning the game...
Oh, is that... Look at that.
Oh, that is painful. As far as the safe lane hero for this game goes, I think that Spectre is more than okay. It's not that I don't think it's a bad pick. It's just a different mentality. Instead of going for the win, you're guaranteeing that if your lineup functions well during the first 20 to 25 minutes of the game, you're going to be so far ahead that a Spectre is going to seem terrifying to ever try to fight into. And those supports, like the support Disruptor, for example, and even a core Lena, actually have a pretty hard time dealing with late game Spectre because the hero's just in your face all the time. You taunt and it becomes very annoying for you.
And the lanes, we've seen them kind of switch around each game, a lot of kind of aggressive tri-lanes and such coming out in each Game 1 and Game 2. And now in Game 3, you're seeing a bit more orthodox. Misery is going to have to deal with this tri-lane here on the top lane. Now, of course, on the Tide. And one thing that we didn't really mention ourselves, but also in Game 2, we were talking about Puppy a lot with the Black Holes, but a lot of it was indeed down to Misery's Ravage. He had quite a game in Game 2 on the Tide, Anton. I'm interested to see if they can go for a repeat performance this game. And we already mentioned the Disruptor way of dealing with it. Do you feel that CDC with their draft and their lineup, they do just have a better overall way of dealing with the playstyle that Secret went for in Game 2?
Certainly better than last game. Yeah, the Weaver and the Razor just did nothing during that game. At the laning phase, like 10 minutes in, heroes just don't have enough farm. Like the Weaver needed another item on top of his Lincolns, which could be anywhere from like 3,500 for a Deso to, you know, whatever he would want to go.
Misery! Oh no! God, I might just catch him out here. Misery was going for a bit of a cheeky farm there on the sidefall, but oh no, pays with first blood to the Night Stalker. Oh look, that's got to be painful there. Just a little bit unfortunate. God, I could him out.
That's very nice. He realizes that this lane is much harder for the Tide than the previous lane. Like, even though it was Razor versus Tide, Misery ended up doing very well in that matchup, but this time around it's not going to be so easy for him. And this is one of the things, too, that you can do to punish an Enigma. Like, last game, it really felt the Enigma was one of the saving graces along with Misery's Tide, as you said, but you can actually do things to punish the greed this time around, which is probably the biggest difference between the two drafts. In the previous game, they were just sitting in the lane. They had the Enchantress up there, like Q was just killing Envy over and over, but killing Envy didn't matter. It was more about just stopping the offlaner and the jungler from getting complete and total free farm, but this time they're going to be able to punish a little bit harder.
Of course, aggressive this time on the Clinks. We saw Envy in Game 2, didn't have a great start, made a great recovery though. This time aggressive is getting more than enough space, so we're going to see the power of the Clinks with a good start straight off the bat. As you said, you know, the lane's being kind of compromised because of this Enigma, but at the same time, if you're ever going to compromise your lanes for Enigma, I think you'd be quite happy to do it for a Puppy Enigma.
Yeah, he's probably... Is there any Enigma better than Puppy? I don't know if there is, because he's pretty much the guy who's played this hero since God knows when, even back in Dota 1, this was a hero that he was known for, so. He knows the hero in and out, and I'm assuming he realizes he's getting leeched from right now, so he's not going to go up that ramp, he's going to send that conversions first. But, you know, Garter, he's just doing his thing. He's pretty much acting like a bounty hunter here.
Pies going to come in and look for control. They have got, of course, Puppy's coming around for this one. Oh, they're trying to buy some space and time. Talking about time, Relation comes out from XZ. Going to stop the line from being able to control either of them anymore. So Puppy, they did move over. I didn't get there in time to follow up. Giving Envy a bit of space down at the bottom. 19 for 4 at the moment on this Spectre. XZ not being too much of an issue for him, but at the same time, XZ is getting a decent amount of last hits on the offlane Void, of course.
And just these little rotations, like forcing reactions out of the supports, making Puppy stop farming. Keep in mind, at this time last game, Puppy was pretty much almost level 6, right? Like he's level 4 right now. He had an extremely uninterrupted jump on the last match. He only went to get, I think it was 1 bounty rune, and then he like auto-attacked a couple of times onto Keys Enchantress and he went back, so. He's already a little bit behind where he probably wants to be. And with that in mind, it means that the 5-man's not going to be as strong. Pie getting chased here. I don't think that Garter can go for this. It's way too deep.
I mean, talking about the Puppy Enigma, we've seen already with the warding. CDEC just putting a lot more emphasis this game on just trying to control, keep tabs on the Enigma in its jungle. Because they really realise it can be a huge threat for them. But Misery, how's he doing in levels? He has managed to start to find a fair bit of XP. He's now level 4 on the Tide. We saw him have a pretty tough time up here at the beginning. He's finding some stuff, and of course with that, I'm telling him he can back off and still find that. Mid lane, there is a bit of a wrap around here. They're trying to catch out Weak, but he's Ghost Warp. Puppy's there as well to help force Sheik back. He's going to be fine with the haste.
It's actually quite surprising they didn't have Dust. Like, Garter has 500 gold right now. He could have easily had Dust on him, and I think they would have killed him. Because there was Laguna. Yeah, he definitely dead right now. A little bit of a misplay here from CDEC. Did he just trade for the... Nope, he didn't. Alright, so... not the most successful rotation. Very weird, actually, that CDEC came to that gank not prepared.
Radiant's top tower is under
Now starting to get a bit of damage onto this tier 1 top. As he will continue to push in. Misery has had to go back to base himself. Still sitting on that level 4, so... I think the key ults really on the Enigma and the Tide, of course, aren't going to be coming out at the same speed as in Game 2. Still, nonetheless, we know what Secret can and will hope to do with them. But at this point of the game, the farm still, Spectre, Envy on the bottom lane. He is level 6 now, so he can jump into the fights if they do kick off. And I guess, in terms of pick-up potential, they are waiting on these ults pretty much from all of the 3 heroes, the Enigma, the Tidehunter and the Lion, before we can kind of expect to see them go for any action that Envy can kind of hop into to get himself involved in the kill.
It's going to be really nice because with the teamfight utility that they have, normally Spectre comes to teamfights anyway. That guy is popping hot, throwing out daggers.
Oh, move drive by there from Shiki, Laguna Blade straight down onto the little Lion, and Envy, he's straight into the trees instead of the damage.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to stay there for a little while.
Especially with XE hitting level 6 with the next creep, so we'll have that Chrono as well, so Envy needs to be very careful here at the moment. He's all on his own. He's going to come back out now. The ping's coming through as we start to see CDC head themselves towards the mid lane. Maybe going to try again for a bit of action onto Wii. Garter does have the Dust this time round.
The thing about those types of ganks is when you mess up a gank like that on Invoker, like say Wii dies, you know, that's a big kill that you just didn't get because you didn't buy Dust, and there was no reason not to have it because you had the money. So maybe that opportunity to present itself again, like right now, Wii's not going to get ganked, he's just going back. That's a little bit concerning, but CDC making more rotations here, going towards bottom. Ward's going to spot him out though, and he knows what's going down here.
They really want to try and find Envy, but as you said, they know, and CDC knows as well. The pings came out. They know that Envy's got the vision. They're going to try and find him there. The kinetic field, but it's not going to be the case. Envy's going to be lucky once again, keeping himself alive, playing it very safely. Envy, top lane, aggressive, keep himself with the skeleton walk. It's going to be the level 6 now on to Misery with the next creep wave. This could be when we start to see the game begin to pick up, and Secret maybe looking to try and find some action. In fact, action could be found against them as Garter comes in. Aggressive now reveals himself to Misery. He's coming with a horn, and there's your Ravage. He gets to level 6 just in time, and there's your turnaround. The Earth Spike onto Garter. Secret catching out CDEC when they were the ones looking for the initiation. Great response there with the horn, and Ravage coming online at just the right time.
When we talk about preparation, Envy even has Dust on him. Like, he knew that they were going to be trying to go for team fights. And as long as the Ravage comes out and you have Haunt available, your carry is going to be at every single team fight. The synergy behind this is actually way better than even I thought at the very beginning when I saw it first picked. I was like, oh, it's pretty good. But after seeing it in action, you can see here, like even with the Sunstrike being thrown out, there's just no reaction that's going to be fast enough to stop that. They wanted to go for a kill, they end up getting 2 wiped off the map in a matter of seconds, so I think they're going to be feeling pretty good about that one. And the other thing about their lineup is because they do have Enigma, Roshan is always going to be quite easy. That happens maybe 1 or 2 more times, you start losing some towers and...
So look at the Chrono, and he will manage to clip Envy, but here comes the TP for Series. Doesn't look like it's going to be here in time. Like, oh, maybe it is! Envy! Is he going to go to an Will? Aggressive gets the final touch in. Will take him down, and now looking to dive onto the Pilot Die. There'll be another TP coming through. Look at the Hex out onto Aggressive. He's going to back himself out away from the tower. Pilot Die should go over the wall ground. Now B turns up. XE, losing mana fast, will be able to get himself out and away in time before Weehard can catch him out here. Still CDC, they want to try and fight. Ju moving in with Aggressive, Garda and the boys. XE salving up, going in for dive, looking for Pilot Die. Weehard's going to hide in the sidelines. They'll get the kill on the line. Weehard's still hiding. Now Misery comes through. Garda's still trying to find Wee. He's hiding in the trees. Should spot him out as well. They'll throw out a Chaos Sneaker, but it doesn't matter. Weehard on his own. He goes down as well. And some fantastic aggression just being forced out there off from the side of CDC, just ready to stand by that tower. They knew that whatever Secret threw in, they didn't have the Ravage, they didn't have the Horn, and that was the best time for CDC to look for a fight.
I would actually like to know if Puppy showed himself on the map beforehand. I think he did, actually. And maybe they just saw the fact that he didn't have a teleport scroll and they just wanted to go for the dive, because this was very, very aggressive for DDC. And as you said, they knew that there was no Ravage on cooldown. It's not really a hard dive to make when you know that those 2 spells, very long cooldowns, are not going to be available, but also realizing that Puppy probably couldn't come to the team fight either just means that for CDEC that was a very easy decision to make.
And the fact that of course they had the Disruptor there, they knew that they could send someone back to base, and of course as we saw it was at the time they just sent Misery straight back. I think even if they kind of kept him there, they could probably maybe even have found the kill on that as well because he didn't have the Ravage, but making the job a little bit easier and allowing them to make sure that they got that big kill on Weehard and Invoker. I imagine, yeah, he did manage to pick up the Midas before and down and managed to use it because he was very close to having that goal. So if that kill on him came a little bit earlier, that could have been a lot more painful for Secret. CDC now leading the game 5-2, and it's all going to be down to Puppy. Game 1 we saw a little bit of a rocky start being turned around by the big black hole contribution from Puppy. See if he's going to be able to do it again this game. He's been focusing on farming the Ancients for the time being, really.
Now, this game's going to be a bit different too because CDC actually have a tremendous amount of damage, where it felt like last game they were kind of lacking the damage output in some categories. Like Weaver doesn't really do that much because he needs a lot of items, and Razor is kind of the same because he needs time for Static Link to really start dealing damage for him. And bottom lane, high.
They going in front straight up, and still online. The Ravage will come through. It's only going to catch out Aggressive, but that's the big kill. They'll take the Clinks in return. And I get they'll be happy with that one. They did cost them the Ravage, but that's a kill on your Clinks.
That is definitely a worth, and that means that Envy is going to secure his Urn now too. It's going to continue to look to fight. As long as they have one ultimate off cooldown, regardless of whether it's Black Hole or Ravage, I think they're going to continually be looking for pressure here.
Oh, Puppy. Straight up caught out there by Shiki, but they've been quite the burst to deal with Puppy. Now he turns around. That was smooth. Backed off. He says, I got this one, guys. Q, getting his back onto the drop. Static on Shiki with this double damage, just ripping through Secret. He's got himself a double kill. With the Axe Smash, with the Echo support, he loses some of the damage. The finger coming out to Garda. Garda gets it back to the high. Puppy with the Iron Locks. He'll get the kill. It's a 2-for-2. Misery, heal fall as well, though. Triple kill for Shiki. That double damage pretty much making the fight for CDEC, but Secret will go down without one and take 2 in return.
Man, Misery didn't even pick up the regen. That actually makes it so much worse. Like, it sounds like a small thing, but we'll get a chance to watch this one more time. Like, Puppy, it looks like he's walking too far away, right? But I didn't see he had Ether Lens in his inventory, so I was like, wait, why is he walking away? But all things considered, CDC are going to be quite happy with this turn of events. And the fact that Shiki doesn't even have to go back to base. Like, he's up to 1,700 gold now for that engagement. I assume he's just going straight for the duels. Yeah, he's got the Staff of Wizardry in his inventory. This also opens up a really big opportunity for CDEC to go Roche. Like, all tier 1s are dead. This is the point in the game where Secret now have to try to make some kind of counterplay. They have Ravage up in about a minute, and I think Haunt is a little bit less than that. Yeah, it's about 30 seconds cooldown difference, so they have a little bit of a window here. They want to go for this Roshan. They got a little bit of time, and I think Secret, like, they almost have to contest this, right? Like, they can maybe counter push tier 1 mid, but giving them this kind of advantage this early, when you have the advantage in team fight and you're losing team fights, against a team who has better rotations, better way of controlling the map once they are ahead, which definitely are. They're against Night Stalker, you're against Clinks with Disruptor as well, so you can get picked so easily.
It looks like CDC are going to get away with this, as you're saying.
They're not going to go.
Yeah, they're going to be very happy with this. They do lose the tier 1 mid, but trade that CDC will be more than happy to take.
Roshan has
And he's going to go the way of aggressive, and of course now with that he should be very close to Desolator. Yeah, he's just about 300 gold away from picking up the Desolator as well here on the Clinks.
The big question is, what do Secret want to do? Is this just a warding smoke, or are they actually looking for a fight? They do have everything up, pretty much. The only thing they're missing is Finger, and to be honest, if they land their ultimates properly, Finger is probably not the most important spell to worry about. Because a Meteor from Wii will like clean up everyone inside of the Ravage of the Black Hole at this point. And they're just waiting things out here, and he's going to show, and he just blatantly broke smoke, so I don't think they're looking to fight, they just want to try to get something here.
CDC did also go for that smoke as we saw in Secret's jungle. Both teams have reported each other. It's going to be the space for Secret to take this tier 1 top, but the trade is going to be looked for by CDC. They'll look for tier 2 in the mid lane. Still see some TPs coming back. It's going to be Puppey leading the way. We'll see if they can find any way to stop this push. Any form of the illusion. And to catch out what Secret are looking for in terms of the jump in. Misery. Look at the Bingo, he's just coming out right now on the courier. Oh no, he's going, sorry. Down for that jump builder, we did see a course in last week. We don't have link this yet, but we do have the horns to lead in. And we will pop it. CDC straight away beginning to scatter. They'll put the Spectral Dagger onto Shiki. There's one chance. He has been silenced up, but it's still coming out. We know he can get himself out just in time. Got a full mode. Can they get a kill on the right to give with him? But the first has the XE. Looks to run on to 3. Aggressive trying to get the damage out, but Ravage is there from the 3. XE's going to fall as well. 2 down on CDC. They've got the ghost for Hex onto Aggressive. The Finger's there. Clicks trying to run, trying to hide. He'll go down. That's the Aegis pop. Can see for a second time. Hanging around to get he gets on a lovely light strike, will bring down Puppey, but they lose aggressive on Clinks. So a 3-for-1, including the Aegis being taken out of the hands of the Clinks. Big fight there for Secret. And well, they didn't even need to use the Black Hole.
The coordination there from CDC wasn't really on point. Like, the fight was very split up at the start, and we'll get an opportunity to actually watch it. But if you watch what XE does after they start walking up to the side here, like, they're all chasing onto the Lina, and then they try to go for a sphere where basically there's no follow-up damage. He hits people behind the tower. All in all, it didn't really work out for them. No one was there to actually deal any damage, and the Static Storm was also dropped in such a defensive way that they didn't even have that when his sphere came out. So he throws out a sphere, auto attacks like 2 or 3 times with just a Vlad's in his inventory, and he's like, oh, I don't do any damage on my own, I actually need my team. At that point, it's already over. Secret's just a little bit too strong there in that engagement, and he's closing in on his Guardian Greaves as well. He's got the Mech and Arcanes already finished, and once that happens, I'd actually say that the Secret are going to be feeling pretty good. Like, that Roshan was supposed to clear CDEC map control for quite a long time. When you're playing with Night Stalker and you have the advantage, and it's also going to be nighttime in a couple of minutes, you have full map control. Secret felt incredibly scared to try to do anything there, but as soon as they see the team spread out, it's just immediately in their favor.
We're going to smoke time from the side of Secret. I think Puppey, we're 17 minutes into the game. I haven't had a chance to really get off a big one here with the Black Hole, and he wants to use it. Lead in here at the moment from Mystery Paladin. Looks like they'll find Garner in the jungle, and they'll go for the pick off straight in. Oh, wait for the bad at that one. And down NS, and off the back of that, they'll look for a push themselves in the mid lane. They just lost the tier 2 about a minute or so ago, and this time they're going to try and take the tier 2 back. As we can see, big ults coming back off cooldown here from both sides. Can CDC really try and do anything about this? They've got the Static Storm, 15 seconds without the Night Stalker. They're eyeing this one up, but it's going to be a hefty push to try and stop Shiki moving forward. Put the 6 sidelines out. XE on the back lines with aggressive. I think they're aware that something's going on and they're playing this safe. They just send the minions in to push, and they themselves, keeping themselves away from any kind of danger that CDC might throw at them in defense.
It's a little bit scary right now because they don't actually know how close the Void is to Blink. XC's at 1500, so he could have Blink anywhere from now in the next, 3 to 5 minutes, give or take, depending on how quickly he farms. Once they get that, I think that taking a team fight is going to be way easier, because as soon as you get that Blink sphere, you allow the Static Storm to come in almost every single time. And you can even overlap if you want, if you know you're going to get the kills, you just drop it on Misery or Puppey, and you just get those kills. And unlike the previous games where we saw that there were heroes who have saves, like when he had the Dazzle before and the OD, this game has no saves for those heroes. So you get a spear into a static storm, they should die pretty much every single time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top lane. Like it's just going to be a bit of a trade here once again. Secret on the tier 2 top. You're already ready with TP back. In the tier 2 here on the bottom. Can they do anything here in time? Misery moving forward. Looks like they may think about fighting. They've got all the ultimates, but at the same time, so does CDEC. Misery being kept back here and guarded now. We'll summon up the night time. XE moving forward. Looks like someone's missing. Danger Chrono. 1 to 3 in the back line. They focus on the puppy. Bring down the Enigma. They found Misery as well on the side. Just screw us down before they get the ult off. Envy starting stuff. It's the third kill there for CDEC. And XE there with the big Chronos when his team needs it. And that is the kind of stuff that turns the game on its head.
Has this guy actually hit less than 3 heroes for Chronos here? Like in this entire series? I mean, I know he's played it every single game, but it really feels like he always hits like the perfect spear exactly when they need it. And the coordination there was sick, and he didn't even have flick. He did that without buyback.
Buyback on Misery. Secret. They're going to try and force this fight here. They're going to potentially use Pilot Dice falling low. CDC moving forward. They want to try and finish up the line. Look at the damage from Aggressive ripping through. We only just able to survive. Misery coming in again. Got his own at the moment. He is going to be back on the pitch now here on the Enigma. Misery moving forward. He wants to find the Ravage. He's going to find a Garda. Trying to TP out straight in front of the Tidehunter. He'll cancel TP on the Night Stalker, but he's missed back onto Misery. Envy now coming in, so he's straight forward on Garda with the Spectre Dagger. Looking for the Night Stalker kill. Will find it. They'll be able to get aggressive here as well. But looks like yes, they've got the dust. They'll get that one too. 2 heroes down on CDC. Did cost the buyback there on the Tidehunter. The base is defended.
Yeah, I think it was worth it. I think maybe if Envy was a little bit faster, he might have been able to get an extra kill as well, because his hot was still going for, I think, 1 more second, and he might have been able to chase down the Void, who is currently jungling right now, because he didn't have mana for a time walk. But at the beginning of this fight, you see the static storm.
Look at that Chrono.
How incredible that Chrono was. Like, 3 heroes, couple on the edge. It puts Envy in such a bad position as well, that there's just no way that Secret can take that fight anymore. Like, as soon as your carry's dead, you have no Ravage. There's no salvaging that, just game. But you can see that they defend pretty much only because they have Glyph, and the Ravage ends up equalizing an otherwise pretty bad fight. But all in all, I would say that CDC dealt a pretty good amount of damage there.
As we saw, that very nearly got the kill onto the Void as well. The Sunstruck just a little bit off the point there from Weeha. Nonetheless, I mean, Game 3, I kind of expected it after seeing both teams have a pretty strong, stellar performance, respectively. Game 1, of course, was CDC, and Game 2 from Secret. Game 3 so far. It'll be a close one.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you want to see, though, right? Like, the first game was a little bit stompy, I'll admit, but I think it was a little bit of a draft issue. And then the next game, it's kind of like the other way. One team does pretty well, and now it's just an even game. This is like the dream best of 3 series, right?
Absolutely. So some big items coming out, as we can see, aggressive. He is going to have that PKB pretty shortly ready for the next fight. The Night Stalker, Agonims, is just only about 1,000 gold away for Garden. And credit earlier, the vicinity of having that vision, the disruptor. The catch-out potential is going to be huge. Even just things like sending back heroes that are looking for that initiation with the big ultimates, like Puppy's Enigma, like Misery's Tide. Talking about Puppy on the Enigma, that's your Guardian Greaves done. Ready for the next fight as well.
It's a really big item for him, mainly because you can dispel yourself. So if the Stalker ever throws a silence on you, you can just pop it off. Obviously, being able to save teammates would be nice too. It's not really super useful at this stage in the game in terms of dealing with burst, because Shiki has Aghanim's. So level 2 Laguna Blade, 650 pure, plus the rest of the damage that, you know, Aggressive and everyone can do. Kinda not really lost all of its potency, but the dispel is very nice. And Secret, they're looking for an opportunity here. Smoked it up, they got the Yule's combo. We actually has very interesting spells loaded here.
Oh, actually he's in the roast pit. He's going to want to get out, and he will. He'll pop on Warner to get the vision. MP jumping straight forward with the Spectre Dagger. The Gush will be thrown out, but Exy Time walks himself away.
This is a frightening CDC. I think CDC want to go. If they go really fast, they might be able to catch it, but they have to be very decisive. They were kind of walking around for a few seconds.
Yeah, they've got to get themselves over there quickly, as you said. They know that Haunt's down. The rest of the ult's still up for the side of Secret, and Secret themselves, they know that CDC is going to want to look for this one. They're not going to fully commit to the roast at the moment. They're hanging out on the side, scanning out themselves. They'll now see Forge Spirit. The CDC are jumping in. And looks like CDC are going to potentially try and start to go for it themselves.
Yeah, they can go for this.
Black Hole and Ravage are there. CDEC, they've got to be careful with their positioning. 3 are in the pit at the moment, and Misery's just going to go straight in. Gets off the Ravage. Q will be bursted down. That's going to be a problem. We can't find the black hole. They're finally looking off the line, but it's a double kill for Weeha. This fight going pretty well for the side of Secret so far. Aggressive punch for BKB, but the down to Messi. It's looking to be enough, but there's the black hole. Poppy saves himself. Takes down 2, bringing in XP, bringing in aggressive, 4 dead on CDEC, and Secret returns to the pit to clean up Roche, who's grabbing themselves the 8.
That was very nicely done. Like, they just split them apart again. It seems like every single time they go into a team fight and they're not all coordinated, it's just a disaster. Like at the beginning of this fight, Ravage comes through, then you pretty much just lose a hero straight away. He has to drop Static Storm in a very suboptimal way. And the Laguna was using a Lion, and he ends up trading his own life like a Lion for a lean at this stage when that was a wicked 6-pick from Shiki.
And look at it, they're just trying to give and the Brigades just at the time coming out, keeping Puppy alive and gets off that black hole. We may not have seen as many this game as we saw in game 2, and arguably this one is a harder matchup considering the heroes that CDEC have got, but still Puppy manages to bring out the big guns just when it's needed.
Difference in initiation, really. That's what it boils down to. The contrast between the fight and that pit and how it opened by just it being a Ravage instead of getting jumped on by a Sphere and a Disruptor ulti, that's going to be how the dynamic goes in an actual team fight. Now, if CDEC get a good fight going and actually get ahead and can hold map control with the Night Stalker, then the way the game is played changes a little bit. But as long as it's just brawl 5 versus 5, Secret are going to have the advantage as long as they don't get caught out by that like gigantic Sphere that XP's been throwing out.
In terms of kind of items now for CDEC, you saw that, I mean, even with the BKB, aggressive was, you know, once a few of the teammates are down, he just can't do enough on his own. He does need to have someone go in and get the catch. And I think the one thing that you keep touching on about, and I think it's very relevant to the fact that they can't seem to find it, is the fact that these Static Storms, each and every time, they're having to be thrown out defensively. We've not seen the Disruptor really find a huge catch.
It was just Misery bottom. That was the only time. Because he got a glimpse into a Static Storm that ended up resulting in him having to buy back. That was when they were defending bottom. But outside of that, yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you smoke up as a Secret, or you want to try to reinitiate and the enemy team doesn't have proper vision, one good ultimate like a Ravage or a Black will steal the fight. You know, just right away. You just don't have a chance to do anything after that, and the damage is pretty much already dealt. So in these types of high stress situations, it's usually better to try to go for the jump as long as you know who you're going for first. And like Secret want to continue this trend, they're gonna smoke up, go into the enemy woods, maybe some warding gonna happen here. Pi only has sentries on it right now, so.
Oh, aggressive. They'll be happy with this. Still sentry getting up. Look at the Hex on this time and haunting in as well. There's your dust. Maybe we'll pop it aggressive. Maybe look for the turnaround, but the Manta's done on MB. Straight down the Sunstrike on point. Aggressive. Gonna get himself up. Just manages to get himself back up to the high ground. He will live. Oh, I'm not quite sure how he got away there, but he managed it, Andy.
That was actually a really good play and then a misplay at the same time. Like, Pi sees the smoke break. He dropped the sentry. It was a little bit slow. And he throws out a Hex and then misses his stun. So he hexed him, missed the stun, and then they run away from Shiki, or not Shiki, they run away from aggressive thinking that they're not going to be able to kill him because of BKB, but Sunstrike goes through BKB. So one Anchor Smasher, one auto attacker, anything would have killed him. But they just didn't think they had the damage, so they just walk away. That was, pretty lucky.
He's going to be pretty happy with
that. He's going to be pleased with that.
That's all I got. Game continues to be close as ever.
Oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure, maybe he didn't have mana actually, maybe Pi didn't have mana for Finger, but his Finger's still up, which means that they definitely could have killed him. And that kill would have been huge. That opens up racks. Like there's tier 3 towers that you can actually hit there. Maybe even force a buyback.
So I'm just going to be smoking for CDEC, but the ward was there. Aware that CDEC are on their way up.
Yeah, this is really good for Secret. I see it. They're going to do the same thing.
Look to try and break it with the Ghost Swap.
Yeah. Okay, there it is.
Oh, we have it. We know you're there,
like,
boys.
well,
we know you're there.
We've been bamboozled.
That's a little bit off the point here because going to play it smart. Doesn't go straight into the middle of them all. Puppy, he wants to use that black hole. Weeha, he's going to head up. And they get the catch out. There's the setup. Misery walking in. Ravage onto 3. Sunstrike coming out. Sneaky. There's your first kill. The Static Storm again getting thrown out. Looks up on the top of the mission. Points out Weeha. He gets himself out. Puppy with the black hole. Constant aggressive. He's got the BKB. stopping some of the damage from other sources. Now the chrono from XE. Guzman gets out. Aggressive says, I've got this guy. There you have him. You need to get up out of there, son. Gush on to XE. Tries to get back to base. Now comes the horn. XE time walks back up. It's a triple kill for Weehaw. He picks off guard on the Night Stalk on the sidelines. Aggressive will keep himself alive, but 3 dead. Going to cause a buyback here on the Lina. And we need to try and defend this one. This is Secret. Ready to try and break the high ground. So the CDEC tried to certainly do this on the bottom lane earlier. Let's see if Secret have a bit more success here in the mid lane. And have Disruptor back up in 5 seconds, but he doesn't have the ultimate. It's going to be a hard defense, but then of course Chrono's there and fall down after that last fight. Secret might just get the space to go for this. Is he jumping in, getting the time salvation onto them all, but with Reeves, Secret just so tanky with his pushing. So they should be able to finish off themselves a set of tracks in the middle. They might even try and find some more action. Literally blinks in. Getting the space there for Envy to finish that up and managed to find themselves a set of racks. Envy?
I was gonna say, it looked like he DC'd there, and he just stopped. Okay, but that was a really, really good Ravage for Misery. Like, the timing with the Tornado Lift was perfect, because it was 4 points in the cross with Aghanim as well. So he had to time that absolutely flawless to hit the Ravage in the fashion that he did, and also realizing that going for Shiki was the best target. You know, just going for the core right away, blowing him up, resulting in pretty much going for the 2 set of racks that we just saw drop there. So very nicely done from Secret. It seemed a little bit hit or miss for a while. And again, this game boils down to who's had the better initiation thus far. But we also have to not discredit the ward that saw the smoke in the first place.
Absolutely.
That was
and
key.
Just as it was expiring as well.
Yeah.
Very close. I think we're going to make it Weehaw. It's not really any news, but this man's pretty good on the Invoker. He is
not bad.
Absolute game.
Not bad.
Absolute game. Top of the net worth, 18,500 here on the man. And I mean, as you said, Mystery following up, but it's got his Weehaw with the setups each and every time, allowing Mystery to blink himself into position, getting his multi-fan. Just, casual Sunstrike there. He's on top of it.
That's the ICU.
That's the 8K Sunstrike.
Yeah. But this is a really rough situation now for CDEC. The Spectre's kind of getting out of hand. We haven't really talked much about Envy, but he's always been contributing to the fights, you know. He's been carrying dust. He's always there when he needs to be. And then when he's just off doing his own thing, farming, the rest of his team is pressured away that they can't realistically go for him ever. Because every single time he's showing himself on the map somewhere else, you have like Puppy and Misery and everyone else just pushing down a lane and, you know, hitting towers, making CDEC respond to them. And if you don't come back, and you only kill one, then, you know, Envy at this stage in the game is probably going to start sitting for buyback, so he can just buyback Haunt. They want to go for high ground, because that's realistically one of the best ways to break base as Spectre, is just to have 2 lives, only use your Haunt when you buy back for the set. You basically haven't ages, it just costs money.
Now, what do you think about sort of Clinks, obviously, with his items, deciding to go for the Diffusal this game, aggressive?
Diffusal is actually, I think, a bit of an underrated item. Mainly because it doesn't have a cooldown. It makes it very easy to dispel things like Hex, for example. If they want to go for Shiki, you can just dispel it. And then if you want to try to chase somebody down, since he doesn't really have a tremendous amount of lockdown outside of just like blowing somebody up in a spear, it's nice to have for chase. And the other thing too is you can just dispel dust.
Oh, this could be a big day for Horn. There's the big, and they know they're grouped up. They're backing themselves away. Envy gets the chance to do the finger. Being thrown down on the guard. And Night Stalk is going to be the first to pop. You as well. 2 kills there for the side of Secret. They didn't even need the Ravage, they didn't need the Black Hole, just the Haunt to lead in, and jumping in with the Diffusal Blade slows coming out from the Spectre. Envy with the control, and now they're just going to go for a second lane of racks here. They're going to go for the tier 3 CDC with 2 heroes down, neither with buyback available. Secret on. Oh, high score from Wee. BKB coming out, aggressive, trying to turn and fight there with the damage from the Deso. Oh, Envy just going to go straight back in. Going on to Puppy. Brent is still hanging around. There'll be the Earthspike for the sideline. Kylo controlling the voice in the photo. There's your rabbit. Oh, to 3 Misery. 2 dead. Double kill for Envy. We are bleeding up to the high ground. Still find themselves a third. Triple kill for Envy on the Spectre. 3 heroes dead on CDC for roughly 50 seconds. No buyback. It's EG. And Secret did it. After what looked like an abysmal game 1. Game 2 they stepped it up. And game 3 they stepped it up. And CDC did as well. What a series to start off the tour.
It was a very close game. I honestly say this game could have gone either way. A lot of it just boiled down to, again, just initiation.
Alright, indeed. There we have it. Secret 2-1 against CDC.